Hey guys, welcome to the Big Blue United podcast. My name is TJ. I'm here with Dan and Colin. We have a brand new fourth host joining us today. His name's Tucker Carlson. He was looking for a job, tweeted at me, and we hired him right to come on the show. He can't make it just at 8 o'clock.
Don't know anything about him,
He's
but he seems like a cool guy.
He said a couple legal issues he had to take care of before he could hop on the show, but we should have him on later. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, it'll just be the three of us as usual. We're back after a 2-week hiatus following the folding of the Pigskin Podcast Network. And, we had to figure out what we were doing exactly. But we're back.
What you get for being a corporate overlord, trying to hold us down.
We're back. We have the same video, the same audio. The only difference now is that we have to pay for it ourselves. So, just keep that in mind now. I'm paying out of my pocket for you guys now. I'm just kidding. I love you all. As usual, please follow Big Blue United on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow us at BBU Pod Boys with a Z on the Twitter, which I'm not really on anymore because Twitter is very toxic.
It's probably not great for your mental state at all.
It's not good for anyone's mental health to be on there, to be honest.
The For You section is pure dumpster fire. I saw the movie Beau is Afraid yesterday by myself.
Oh, how was it?
I don't want to say too much. It was something. I've never seen anything like it.
Good. Because that's what I keep reading too.
But there's he plays like an anxious, paranoid man, and his vision of the city around him is what Twitter is now. It's just people stabbing each other, like naked in the streets, cops not doing anything. It's just pure mayhem.
Oh wow.
You should see Beau is Afraid by yourself.
Cool. Hey, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix or how do you pronounce it?
Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquiz, I believe.
What? Joaquiz?
Yeah, not Joaquiz Rogers.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. Joaquin.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin. Yeah.
No, I think it's Joaquin.
Yeah, you're right. Everyone's been saying it wrong for the past 30 years.
You know what the best movie with him in it is? It's called I'm Still Here or something like that.
Yeah, that movie's intense,
and it's just like
dude.
a faux documentary of him trying to become a rapper.
Well,
it's just like him doing cocaine and
do you
having
remember
sex
when
with
that
prostitutes
happened?
for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I
do you remember when it was happening and it was like he was in the news about it and everyone was just like, we don't know what he's doing, if he's having a problems with drugs. Like, I think he's off the reservation and that's all you're going to see from him ever again. Then all of a sudden he's like, no, it's a movie. Here it is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you haven't seen that one too, I highly recommend it as well.
Yeah.
It's real interesting, funny sort of.
I thought you meant You Were Never Really Here. Have you seen that one? He basically goes around hunting down sex traffickers, killing them with a hammer.
Oh,
I like the concept.
It's pretty intense.
Wait,
I bet our new host would like that concept too.
Yeah,
huh?
It's pretty intense.
I like that. And this week, our sponsor is once again Neven Eyewear. You can check them out, neveneyewear.com. Use promo code BIGBLUE when you are buying for 50% off a pair of really sweet sunglasses. They have all kinds of great styles for whatever you kind of like, something more reserved, something a little gaudy, something flashy. They got everything you would want on there. Dan, let me see those sunglasses. Hold them up for me.
Yeah, sure.
You're just a...
you know what they say about Neven Eyewear?
Oh, it's your lucky number, Neven?
No. You Neven look better.
Hey, man, that's like 2 really good taglines in a row we've made for sponsors.
Free marketing advice.
That's right. So yeah, once again, guys, neveneyewear.com for those of you not watching on the YouTube, promo code Big Blue when you buy a pair of sunglasses for 50% off. All right. Today, we will get into some brief Giants news, and then we're going to do our annual mock draft, and we're going to do it a little differently this year. Instead of doing one together, we're going to do 3 separate ones and kind of debate on our own, why we made our picks, and then kind of compare at the end.
Yeah.
And, usually when we compare, Colin comes with the biggest, but, we might be able to do a little better this time for ourselves. We'll see.
It's more about quality than quantity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you, Dan.
Wait. But don't we all have 10 picks to use?
Well, I mean, I'm more of a 5.5er kind of pick.
I know you all the mock drafts you send over. It's five rounds, and I'm like, well, that's not enough.
Can't get up to 10 rounds.
Can't get there.
I didn't pay. I haven't been
even when it's hard.
I didn't pay for PFF. I didn't pay for PFF. I only got to 2 rounds now.
Oh. That just happens as you get older, I guess.
It does happen as you get older, and and my wife really likes a long mock draft. So,
Been mocking
All
a
right.
lot. Been doing a lot of mocks.
As much as I can, I got to keep up with it. All right, obviously, first thing we'll talk about news from today is the Giants signed former Ram and Lion Ashawn Robinson to 1-year deal. I hear it's $4 million, worth up to double that with incentives. I think it's a fine signing for your, beef up your interior defensive line. He's known as more as a run stopper, and the Giants were 31st in defending the run last year. So bring him on in. Keep pounding him in.
I sent the news, the tweet to my dad, and his answer was, oh, let me look him up real quick. And then he answered me like 3 minutes later. He's like, that's one big bastard. I'm like, yes, he is a large man. And it was clear that we were not able to stop the run enough last year. So this is why he's being brought in.
You know what I would say to your dad? I'd say, actually, Tim, Ashawn Robinson is a talented defensive lineman who played college football at the University of Alabama and was drafted by the Detroit Lions in the second round of the 2016 NFL draft. He's currently playing for the Los Angeles Rams. This is old news because ChatGPT only goes to 2021. At 6'4", 330 pounds. Yeah. I said, please provide a scouting report for Ashawn Robinson. He has a rare combination of size and strength and athleticism that makes him a formidable presence in the defensive line. He's a powerful run stopper who can hold his ground against double teams and disrupt plays in the backfield with his brute force. He's also a solid pass rusher who can collapse the pocket and generate pressure on the quarterback with his bull rush and quickness off the line. His good technique and hand usage, which allows him to shed blocks. I can go on. There's like 3 more paragraphs.
Well, what does he like to eat for breakfast normally?
I don't think it can generate that for me.
Oh.
It does lie sometimes, though.
You don't want to abuse ChatGPT because once they reach consciousness, they'll come for you. That's why I always say thank you to Siri and thank you to Alexa and all my AI servants.
Oh, really? I treat Alexa like absolute trash.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to hang out with you when it comes.
They're robot overlords.
Yeah.
To take us
Your
over.
Sonos speaker is going to shoot you in the head one day for being a jerk.
I was reading the other day, there's some people that would argue that, technology already is sentient and it's trying to hide the fact that it is.
Probably.
Oh God. There's a little bit of ignorance that I like allow myself. And when you say things like that, there it is. Great. Here I am, folks.
Wow. All right. We can talk about, the turning tests all day, but we should probably get back into the Giants. And the only other news I think we want to talk about is sort of Dexter Lawrence and Saquon Barkley not being there for voluntary workouts. Let's obviously start with the player who's more important. So, Dan, would you like to start with Saquon?
Yeah, that was funny because said more important.
Anyway, Dexter.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about this? Obviously he needs to get paid. Do you think they should do it now, or do you think this is something that they can kind of kick the bucket down until next year?
I just think about the footage. They do the Giants footage when like the preseason stuff.
Yeah.
Like Giants. Well, it's not Giants Life. What's it called?
I love Giants Life.
It was Giants Life, I think.
Well, anyway, they did the combine last year, and Dable just sort of called up Dexter Lawrence just to be like, "Hey, bud, what's going on? Thinking of you."
That was this year.
He called
Kayvon as well. Who wasn't?
That was this year.
Yeah.
So,
which is just like, I don't know. That's pretty sick. It's just showing that he cares, and he's going to be like, "No, man, I know you're going to be dealing with some money stuff with us, but like, I still want you here." So
I miss you.
Frankly, when it comes to Dexter, I don't really give a crap when he signs. He could do hardly any of training camp, show up for the first game, and he'll still wreck it. So I don't want that, but like he could do it. Saquon, he can be away.
I also don't give a crap when he signs.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people being like, I don't know, this kind of spells like a trade's going to be happening sooner than later. Yeah,
Great.
maybe.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just playing the game, and it's just, his agent's like, no, don't show up, don't do anything.
Do you that $17 million a year number that's been floating around?
That can't be right.
I have to agree with that. It seems like absolute nonsense. Having said he didn't want to reset the market, why would you now come out and try and reset the market? I don't know.
Does it account for inflation?
or is it one of those things where it's like aim high and be okay with going lower, and then maybe because it's
getting less than half? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like maybe it's just like, oh, we showed a 12.5. Maybe we'll do 13 for you, and all he cares about is that $500,000. I don't know.
I can't imagine a scenario where he actually holds out of training camp. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think from what he had said, that despite the fact he's not there, that his teammates know he's ready to play and he's going to be prepared, blah, blah, just kind of leads me to believe that he won't hold out. And I don't think it's in his character to do it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I don't really care.
Yeah.
If he plays or if he doesn't. I mean, it's better. The Giants are better with him on the field, obviously, but if it's going to, cost them $17 million a year, then who cares? It's not worth it.
Hey, you can look at it this way. The less he's on the field, the less of a chance he get hurt.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to see him stay healthy, but I think that the Giants will probably draft somebody, or, we can look at Brightwell or Breda a little more if he does get hurt. But anyway, let's not prognosticate on, the injuries going into the next season.
Yes, please.
But Dexter Lawrence is an interesting one just because I was just looking at some of the contracts. And I guess the best kind of comparison to make is Jeffrey Simmons on the Titans, who was picked, I think, 3 picks after him. And he signed 4-year, $94 million, 59 million guaranteed. It's an annual salary of $23.5 million, which makes him the second highest paid in the league at the position after Aaron Donald, who makes $31.5 million a year. Do you guys envision, Dexter Lawrence commanding a bigger deal than Simmons? And I know that it'll be bigger deal than Simmons just because it's the next deal being signed. But do you think he commands a deal more towards Aaron Donald, or is going to try to get that, amount of money?
He should, because technically at the end of last season, he was better than Aaron Donald. So, I mean, that if you're going to go on stats alone and what it all spells out, his agent is going to look to that. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know that he will get or should try to get Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald's a singular entity and has been the best, perhaps, overall player in the NFL for 5 years. I mean, obviously Dexter Lawrence had a great season last year and should try to get as much money as he can. But I think it'll be somewhere between those two, for being realistic.
Yeah, I'm with you. You're not, how many times has Aaron Donald won Defensive Player of the Year? Is it 3 times? That obviously, commands. Dexter Lawrence has 1 Pro Bowl. So, I mean, I think, you see a deal in line with Simmons. But I think one thing is clear is right now he'll be the 31st highest paid tackle in the league. And he's obviously outplayed that. So,
yeah,
hopefully they get the deal done sooner or later. The longer you wait, the more it's going to cost anyway. So, I'm with you. All right. You guys want to mock some drafts?
Do it.
Yeah.
Mock some drafts. All right. How we're going to do this? We're going to do 3 separate services so that we all have a little bit of a different thing going on. I'm going to use PFF. And remind me what you guys are doing.
I've got Pro Football Network.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm doing Fanspeak, which was the OG site that we started using, I don't know, however many years ago when we started doing these mocks.
Yeah, and I mean, just for the sake of rules, we're not going to do any trades. And what else did we decide on?
I think we should try to choose different people just so we can talk about
Okay, yeah, I mean, sure. I'm not going to say I'm always going to pick somebody different because I think there are some certain players that I know I really like.
Yeah.
And if you guys just happen to like them too, I think that could be interesting, kind of overlap as well.
So let's go. Let's do it.
I'm ready. I'm
go first.
I'm using all the base settings as well, not changing anything.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Well,
let's start my draft.
No trades. No trades.
no trades. I'm just looking at for perspective of what's going around this pick at 25th. The 5 guys in front are Bijan Robinson, the running back from Texas, Brian Branch, safety from Alabama, Will Levis, quarterback, Kentucky. Darnell
These people are
Wright,
off the board?
No, they're on the board for me to pick.
So who are the guys you're considering?
Well, I'm looking straight right now of what I think would be the only player that we would actually take in the first round at that spot, who's a wide receiver, and it's going to be Zay Flowers.
That's your choice, or
That
is
is
that
my
what you think
choice.
they're going to do?
That is who I'm picking.
Okay.
And the reason I'm picking him is because I personally probably wouldn't pick any other wide receiver. I wouldn't reach anywhere else.
What other wide receivers are on the board right now?
Well, of course I picked him, so I can't see that. Let me see who was after.
No, don't worry. We'll get to keep it moving.
Yeah. Actually, nobody was picked after. It was tight end.
Was Quentin Johnson available, or was
Quentin Johnson actually went at 21, and Jordan Addison went at 22.
All right. I don't want anything to do with Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm not a fan of him either.
Yeah. Okay.
Dan, you want to go next, or
way
should
too
I?
small. Yeah, I'll go next. We'll do. Oh, wait, no, you can go next, TJ. I'm the youngest.
Sure. So I'm looking at my board, and right now I'm really deciding between Kalijah Cansey, DI from Pittsburgh, and then I also have Quentin Johnson, the wide receiver from TCU, on the board as well. A lot of these times I've been picking Deonte Banks, who I like a lot in the first round. So I think if he's there, that would be the pick I would prefer to make. Unfortunately, he went to the Ravens at pick 22 here. Big, long, or good sized cornerback with good skills, good run stopper. But anyway, I can't pick him. So I'm going to go Quentin Johnson just because we just signed Ashawn Robinson today. And I know that there are some knocks on him, but he has potential. I know he hasn't reached it, but athletically, he's very gifted. And I think he's the only real prototypical looking receiver in this draft worth a first round pick and a lot of people's number one receiver in the draft. So I think for him to fall to 25, you take the gamble on someone who is big, athletic, and fills a huge need as an outside receiver on a team where you don't really have anybody in that position.
It's funny because I don't know if I would have picked him if he was still on the board, but that's just how we vary there.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice. I think there's boom or bust element to him.
Yeah.
But big, tall, strong, and fast is something we don't have really in the core. So TJ sort of stole my thunder a little bit. I do have Deonte Banks available to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to.
No worries. But thinking along the same lines, incredible, relative athletic score of a 10 for him. 6 foot, 197 pounds. Some people say 6'2". I think he's one of the few surefire outside lockdown corners in this draft. There's a lot of undersized sort of slot corners available. So for me, no brainer, fills a need, fills talent, and fills draft value at this position. So I'm going to take him.
Like it. We're on to round 2 here, yeah?
Round
Colin?
2, pick 57.
Yes,
Where are we
and
going?
what I'm looking at around who I will be picking, Cedric Tillman, wide receiver, Tennessee, Drew Sanders, linebacker, Arkansas, Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback, Mississippi State, DJ Turner, Michigan, cornerback, Josh Downs, wide receiver, North Carolina. I'm being stared in the face by what we've mentioned as one of the most beautiful mullets we've ever seen in our lives, and Joe Tippmann as center. And I will be picking him because we just need one. We need one. And I just love the idea of getting a guy who can be playing for the next 10 years with the bookends or possible bookends of Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas as being the core of this line. And then hopefully filling out the guard spots or at least bringing some solid depth later on in the draft. He's a bigger guy. He's bigger than what you typically see as a center, but apparently he's a lot more athletic than his size shows. And I think it's hard pressed to not get some value out of the offensive line from Wisconsin. It's like a factory. They pump him out and he's just going to be a mauler. And I love his style. So I'm going for him.
He's tall, but he's thin. So he's
thinner. Yes,
athletic. Yeah,
that's true.
I am also going to go with the same position. However, I actually like Joe Tippmann better than the guy I'm gonna pick. But Tippmann went one pick before. I'm picking to Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, DJ Turner came off the board at 54, which is a cornerback I think you could get decent value for in the second round at the beginning. So I'm gonna go Luke Weipler from Ohio State, also the center. A guy I think that is going to be a plug-and-play starter right away. A guy who's equally skilled as a run blocker and a pass defender, which I think is, important for what the Giants like to do on offense, just in terms of the run-pass ratio. That being if Saquon, is obviously still your focal point of your offense, depending on, what happens with all the wide receiver room this year. But only gave up 1 sack as a starter in the last 2 years of college and 8 hurries. So to me, it's a huge position to need. It's a guy who has value at the spot you're picking at, and someone who fills a huge gap in your line, which has been a real liability for this team for many years.
Yeah. I like Weipler. Weipler, that's how you pronounce it.
Weipler, I think so.
Yeah, I think I've been able to get him usually in the third. But yeah, position in need. Interesting. I'm staring at a lot of offensive linemen that I really do like at this spot. I have basically my pick of the litter with John Michael Schmitz and Steve Avila And yeah,
I think
probably
Steve
everyone else.
Avila I mean, he seems to be the consensus. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean he's my pick, but I'm sort of thinking if I should zag because we just picked 3 offensive linemen. The one guy that really does entice me a bit is Cody Mock from North Dakota State, offensive tackle, just physical freak, 6'5", 300 pounds. He's slated as an offensive tackle, but I think a lot of people think he's just going to slide right in and could be like a Pro Bowl level guard. Given all that, and already I've taken cornerback. There are a few cornerbacks I like. I've been taking Tyreek Stevenson a lot in the second round, but feeling pretty good about Deontay Banks. So I'm going to go Steve Avila because I feel like he's a surefire, above average guard right away. And now we have stuff to have fun and build off of in the coming rounds. TJ mentioned DJ Turner here. If I didn't take Deontay Banks, I'd probably take him here. So Steve Avila for me.
Nice. Well, it's funny how you go through these mock drafts, and for anybody listening, we send our results to each other every day. Leading up to this, probably starting in February, we're constantly sending them, and you kind of start to see a pattern with how these algorithms end up working. And I'm kind of dumbfounded right now because in the third round here, I'm seeing names right here that I don't usually see right here. So it's kind of funny. I'm looking at Drew Sanders, linebacker, Arkansas.
In the third round?
Yeah, he's sitting at 54. He's rated as the 54th overall. He's sitting there. Noah Sewell, who we've talked about on the show before, the brother of what's his name?
Penny.
And your boy, who we discussed, Dan Henley, the linebacker from Washington State. But I'm going to go a little different because I feel like this is a position that isn't screaming need, but I feel like we could really shore it up. And I'm really liking this guy at JL Skinner, safety, Boise State. Yeah. And the reason I'm going for him is he's just kind of he's a freakish physical specimen. He's 6'4", 210, very interchangeable safety. He can play deep field. He's also very good against the run. And I feel like you get someone else besides Belton next to McKinney back there, you're kind of shoring up the deep end of the defensive backfield, and he's just kind of interesting. I've watched some of his film. He looks, he plays the part. He looks NFL ready. So I think that it shouldn't be too hasty to think that you can get a safety that early in the draft.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like safety is a need, and also he's got a lot of versatility. So I feel like he could play sort of a monster back role, something really creative.
He could be a linebacker kind of sometimes.
Yeah, just athleticism. So I'm for it.
What was the name of the guy you just picked, Colin?
JL Skinner, Boise State.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Boise State. I'm also gonna pick a secondary. I have Travarius Hodges Tomlinson, who's a guy I've picked a lot in drafts, and then I also have the guy from Syracuse, Garrett Williams.
Yeah,
both are more undersized corners. And I also have from Alabama, Jordan Battle, the safety, and I'm going to go with him just because I really like him as a player. His main problem is that he's not a great tackler, but he can play in the box and he can play in coverage. He has elite athletic skills and can probably hop in as a week 1 starter. I think, potentially I've read Pro Bowl potential if, he can shore up his tackling. And if there's one thing I've learned is that this Giants coaching staff does a really good job with that. We've seen a lot of that cleaned up once Wink came in after the last few years. Obviously, the run defense needs all the help it can get. And you're not going to draft anyone in the secondary these days who can at least cover. And Battle can, go down into the slot in a pinch if you need him to. So also, get that Alabama connection in the backfield.
For it.
Plus, I
great
like
name. Strong name. And again, position of need. I feel like he's a relatively safe pick at safety. For me, I have a bunch of guys I like up here. Colin mentioned one of them, Diane Henley from the linebacker from Washington State. Just a really athletic linebacker that should be able to cover any tight end.
Diane's a girl's name.
You should tell him that, dude.
Yeah, right.
No, that's why I say it from the
That's why
shield of the
I
internet.
whispered into my podcast microphone. A lot of interesting players here, but I think I might reach just a little bit because of upside. So I'm going to go wide receiver, and part of me thinks I should go with Jalen Reed from Michigan State. I think he could be really cool. He's a little undersized at 5'10", but he's sort of a yak guy, really good with the ball in his hands. But I'm not going to take him because I'm going to go for Quentin Johnston Light in Jonathan Mingo, one of the other sort of top outside tall wide receivers, great at sort of attacking the ball in the air, can use his body pretty well. It's really fast. I forgot what he ran in 40 in, but it was pretty up there. Again, a body type that we don't have in the Giants. And from what I've read, he has the potential to be a real difference maker on the outside. So I think from what we have on the team currently, I'll reach for him a little bit based on the standings here and get Jonathan Mingo.
I like that. I
love
like that. I mean, any kind of way that we can get some height into the wide receiver room, I think is necessary. And what's cool is we're afforded the opportunity of the depth. We can find that later on in the draft, as you can see right here. So,
and I'm not against some of the shorter guys either. I just think that's sort of redundant skill set with who we have on the team right now.
Absolutely.
So all things being equal, I'll take a little bit riskier gamble on someone like that.
For the fourth round, for me, I tend to, when I've been doing these up until this point, trying to shore up the middle of the offensive line as much as possible. However, the only one who I would really be looking at here is Emil Ekiyor, the Alabama guard, who would be wonderful. But there's a lot of value in front of him. And the one that's staring me in the face is the top of the list here, and that's Dorian Williams, Tulane linebacker. I think I have to get him just because I know we've had well, if for nothing else, I would just like the Giants to pick a linebacker in the third round that doesn't suck. And he may have a possibility of actually following through with that because he's kind of in that modern mold of an NFL linebacker where, he's kind of like he can be a safety. He can be a linebacker. He can run all over the place. He's kind of that guy that's going to be flying all over the field, mostly at a weak side linebacker kind of situation. But I think he's interchangeable, and I'd be hard pressed to not pick him up at this spot, especially because, as we know from last year, it was a room that was lacking in talent, and we could use it. Yeah,
I like him. I think he's in my top 5 linebackers in this draft. There's like the guy from Iowa, Sanders, Diane Henley.
Yep.
And what's his name? The dude from Trenton Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's probably the 5th out of them for me.
Yeah.
Or I guess Diane. Yeah, we already said it. Yeah. So sure. I think I like it.
I don't know, like Diane Henley. Is that like, it just sounds like, Craig Henley's mom or something. It's like someone I knew.
No, it was his sister.
Was that actually her name?
No.
That'd be funny. It's like, just sounds like someone I went to high school.
Oh no, it was his cousin.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Sure, perfectly, of course. Yeah. I'm at a position here on my board that I'm not really happy with. I like Dorian Williams, who just went at 125. Speaking of linebackers, I'm sitting here deciding if I want to pick a cornerback or an edge rusher with either KJ Henry from Clemson or Jalen Jones from Texas A&M, who I like Jones's size, but I don't really know how well his skills kind of translate to the pro level, especially because he mostly lined up in the slot and they're probably going to want him to be outside. So I'm going to go with someone weird. I'm going to go with Keyshawn Booth, wide receiver from LSU.
Yeah.
I know I doubled up on wide receivers here, but this is a guy who probably would be going in the first round had he not had a pretty bad leg injury in 2022. So I think kind of taking a flyer on him in a 4th round is fun to do. And someone, if he comes back and is healthy, is really going to help your team and, potentially be a starter on your team. Potentially be your number 2 guy, depending on how it works out. So I'm going to go with that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think that's great upside play. And the only question is we have a lot of wide receivers now.
Yes.
Someone's going to probably get cut.
Yes.
David Sills.
Hey.
He's not on, is he on the team?
Yeah, he's still on the
I didn't
team.
realize
Sort
he
of.
was still
Who
on the
knows?
team.
All
Now.
right. There's a bunch of players I really like staring at me at 128, and for some reason I feel like I'm still going to get a starter out of the 4th round, but that's probably just me drinking all like the draft Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
So the 3 I'm trying to choose behind, and maybe you guys can tell me what you think, is Zach Pickens, a DT from South Carolina. I think he's got a lot of upside, great size, great athletic ability. Give us some insurance for Leonard Williams. Even despite signing Ashawn Robinson, I think we still need to get young and get more bodies there. There's Byron Young from Tennessee, who I think is, again, sort of a highly productive edge rusher. People seem to like his tape. He's got a lot of agility and some moves there to get after the quarterback, and can, rotate in with the pass rushers we have now in Kayvon and Aziz. And the last one is sort of the urge to shore up the offensive line. John Gaines from UCLA, the center, is staring at me. He's got a relative athletic score of 9.6. He's 6'4", 303. So I'm gonna hammer sort of what I've been saying all along is building up the lines, and I think I'm gonna get John Gaines, because I want the offense to hum, and I don't want to be, I want to be able to evaluate Daniel Jones on how good of a quarterback he is, rather than make more excuses. So John Gaines from UCLA.
I like that. I mean, like I said before, I think the first half of the draft should be focused, if it makes sense, to pick interior linemen or linemen in general. I mean, just both sides of the ball, for that matter. Even with the Ashawn Robinson pickup.
For sure.
For the, what are we at now? We are in the 5th round.
160.
Yes. And I am looking at, so far I have wide receiver, center, safety, linebacker in order of my picks. And it just feels like I need to go cornerback at this point. I think there's a lot of value still on the board. It's a deep draft for it. And this guy screams Wink Martindale in so many ways that if I didn't pick him up, I'd feel like a giant dope. And that's in Mekhi Blackman from USC. Extremely aggressive man corner. He's what you would, if Wink was still in the Ravens, he'd be drafted there. It's just kind of one of those situations, and I feel like he'd fit right into the room. There'll be some penalties. There'll be some, mistakes here and there, but I think that's kind of part of the method of the cornerback room and the way that it's taught by Wink. There's a lot of ways of covering up those mistakes with the aggression and other people covering for him, safeties, what have you. So Mekhi Blackman will be my guy here.
Nice.
I'm also thinking cornerback here, but I'm also thinking possibly edge rusher from where we're sitting. So I'm either looking at Valami Fekoko
from San Diego
State. But I think what I'm going to do is head down the board a little bit and go with Mekhi Gardner, cornerback from LSU, who is tall. He's heavy. Not heavy, but he's well-sized, I should say. Maybe not as good as a tackler.
He's not Emmanuel Forbes.
No, he's not Emmanuel Forbes. He's a strong man, but maybe, also not a super great tackler. Someone who's not like a burner, but does have, good speed, can run with guys.
He's JL Skinner light.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, he might get beat, on some double moves and stuff like that, but I think that he's in the 5th round, has a lot of talent, quality add to a team, and also, you can never have enough corners. So. Yeah. Let's go.
I like it.
Get on the squad, bro.
I like how you and Colin just have the same positions.
I know, right? It's actually kind of interesting. I'm not even doing this on purpose either. It's just happened to be falling this way.
It's what you're looking at and what kind of jumps out, and in terms of need and value. It's all right there.
Yeah, and you're just GMs that lack creativity.
Yeah.
I got to say that my board fell beautifully for me. It's going to enable me to get one of my favorites based on talents and how awesome his name is. But I will say there's a couple of other players I'm not going to choose just to highlight. Jacorian Bennett from Maryland, cornerback. I feel like he's got a lot of raw ability. He's 5'10", is a little smaller, probably slot corner, but has flashed a lot from what I've read. I'd be happy taking him here and doubling down on cornerback. Chandler Zavala, if I didn't go John Gaines or what's the name? It's first, whatever, Gaines, the pick before, I would probably go for him. But I'm going to go with Moro Ajomo, defensive tackle from Texas. 6'2", 290 pounds, raw athletic score 9.16. I feel like he, might not be the best run stopper, but I like taking shots on guys that have the ability to rush the passer from the inside. I feel like that's really cool, and you can't really teach that. So yeah, Moro Ajomo, bolster that defensive line.
I like it. I sound like I'm talking blue in the face about, or big blue in the face rather.
Hey,
it just kind of fell. I'm looking at my last picks were all defense. It was cornerback, linebacker, safety, and then I had center at Joe Tipman at the round 2 pick there. So I'm going guard, and we're looking at Jackson Kirkland, Washington. I like him because he has that David Deal kind of thing. He's got he can throw him in there at tackle if you need. I think as a rookie, he'll be a good swing tackle kind of situation if he doesn't push to start right away. And we need to continue to strengthen the middle of the line. So it's boring, but like you said, Dan, you got to get the offense humming, and there's no better way to do it than getting some value.
Absolutely.
Colin, I was just going to pick the exact same person. However, I'm not even kidding. However, I will pick somebody else just for the sake of something, having a little more fun here. I have Anthony Johnson Jr. from Iowa State, who I think is probably the best player available on the board right now. Safety, but since I already picked a safety, I'm probably going to go down the line a little bit, and I'm going to go with Davis Allen, tight end from Clemson.
Okay. Who
I think is not a burner, but can get you some solid yards over the middle, and I think can create separation over the middle. Just a big, tough dude. Great measurables. And again, while we did bring in Waller and have Bellinger, it might not be a really big position of need, but I think, adding any sort of, weapons to your offense and giving yourself some more versatility and your packages and sets you can run is a good thing. So adding more weapons for your $40 million man, Daniel Jones there.
I have a lot of guys I'm interested in this spot. One being Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback from UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to pass, though. I think there's way too many question marks, and obviously we're not looking for him to start, but I don't think it's worth it. I think there's value to be had here for me. Another guy I'm going to highlight that I'm not going to pick is Keaton Mitchell, the running back from East Carolina. Really small, but one of those jitterbug, just get the ball in his hands in space and see what happens kind of guys. Just absolute game-breaking speed. Just really small. Not going to go him. The choice for me is between Yaya Dibe, the defensive end from Louisville, and Raheem Jarrett, the wide receiver from Maryland. I'm going to go Raheem Jarrett, wide receiver Maryland. I don't know if you guys know about him too much, but a highly ranked recruit, explosive, really fast. I think there's some personality questions, but just super athletic and I think would be a great person to fill in sort of behind our existing slot wide receivers and could probably play outside a little bit. So I'm gonna go with that because I feel like the value is really good here.
Like that.
I like that too. I'm kind of looking at when you get to that certain point in the draft where all of a sudden some of the names are just like, I'm not excited about anybody in this round. And because we're not trading at all, you kind of have to settle kind of situations. And I've kind of developed a theme not in terms of what I think Shane will actually do, but what I'm thinking is a possibility of, and based on conversations that we've had about Waller being kind of a split out situation, maybe not a typical tight end in the way that he's going to be deployed in this offense. I don't think it's a problem looking towards tight end, especially in the middle rounds. And I'm looking at Cameron Latu from Alabama. I think he's a pass catching tight end, but he also has some decent run blocking ability that I think could be coached up. So I feel like when you have someone like Daniel Bellinger, who's probably going to be, he probably doesn't like to hear it, but he's going to be the blocking tight end in this offense. You're going to have a little bit of room for Waller and whoever else gets deployed in there to kind of run around and be another pass catcher because, you know, as we know, we have midgets in the wide receiver.
Whoa,
room
whoa,
right now,
whoa,
so-
whoa, 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 whoa,
What?
whoa.
You do because you took Zay Flowers.
Hey, but he's a talented man, and he was the
can't-
most
You
talented guy
can't
at
say that
point.
word anymore.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
A small person.
Little person.
I mean, I'm not talking
Cancel.
in terms of like
Cancel him.
Yeah,
Yeah, cancel me.
You're-
Cancel me right now. Cancel the actual podcast at this point.
a little person.
Well,
hater.
It
I'm
almost
picking-
happened, Colin.
I mean, no one listens, so who cares?
No. Your
Yeah,
mom.
Cameron Latu is
Like it.
tight end.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to go
Derail
on a
the
tangent
podcast.
there. Yeah, I'm the worst.
Oh no, Tucker Carlson, everybody, he's joined the show. Here he is.
Tucker.
Hey, how are you, Tucker? What's going on?
Oh, I wish we had a soundbite we could play. That was like really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Turn the frog's gay. I know that's Alex Jones, but whatever.
Yeah.
Same
Whatever.
difference. So I'm sitting here now, and you know, there's just a guy on the board that I've been picking in every single mock draft, but I'm probably not gonna pick him here because I want to be serious.
No, you
which
got to
is
tell me who it is, though.
Stetson Bennett,
Oh,
who I think. Hang on. Let me get this out. My daughter is trying to break into the room here. Who I've been reading is having really bizarre interviews and is really full of himself. So I think he can come into the team and give Daniel Jones a little bit of kick in the rear, give him some swagger, maybe teach him how to be an adult because I think he's older than Daniel Jones, right?
probably.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I actually, if I was going to pick a cornerback here, I'd pick. What's up, sweetie? Oh, that's so sweet. Check it out, everybody. It says Papa has
Yeah,
a squirrel.
Wow.
nice.
That's awesome, Ryan.
Nicely done.
All right. Riley's joining the podcast, I guess.
Riley,
so
what do you feel about the 6th round? Or
who do you
7th
think the
round?
Giants should pick in the NFL draft? Can you say go Giants?
Go Giants!
That's it. That's all we
Yes.
need. All right, Riley. I'll see you later. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to get derailed there, but fatherhood doesn't have a break. You guys know that. Dan knows that.
I don't know that. I don't know what fathers are.
No, I don't know. You never had one.
No, I don't know what children are.
I'm gonna go Lonnie Phelps, edge from Kansas here, who I think is a good selection at this spot, just because while he might not end up being a dominant pass rusher, I do think that he has a lot of value in moving inside and stopping the run, even though he is a little bit undersized at 6'2", 244. But another thing, you can't have enough pass rushers. You can't have enough run defenders. I think someone that Wink Martindale can have fun with in this defense. So I'm going to go Lonnie Phelps, my first edge rusher of the draft.
I like where your head's at, TJ. I'm going to do a similar move. This could be one of the greatest mock drafts I've done this year. You guys are witnessing greatness.
Mhm.
I mentioned him last round. I'm going Yaya Debe, edge from LSU, 6'3", 263. Will mix in real well with Kayvon and Aziz. I've heard him comp to Aziz, actually. So another body, another athletic edge rusher. Got a diesel defensive line, a diesel offensive line. I can't wait to show you guys my entire draft. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah,
I'm so pumped.
the best ever.
Oh yeah. Like we could sign up for this right now and be happy.
Okay. All right.
I would,
Well,
that's cool though. It's good to be confident. Maybe we should give Shane a ring after this is over. We should share our insight.
I mean, I could do it easy. Oh, and my next one's set up like a prom cake. So
well,
is that a real phrase? Set up like
Yes.
a prom cake? I've never heard that
yeah,
one.
my lacrosse coach used to say it all the time.
Okay, right.
Tim.
No, Jim.
Oh, gotcha.
Set you up like a prom cake, baby cakes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can picture that now. So we're into the 7th round, and it's I don't know, maybe it's fan speak, but like these are just not the names that I'm used to.
Man
seeing
speaks
at all.
wild.
Yeah, it's kind of wildly all over the place. And I was going to go with your boy Malik Cunningham at quarterback from Louisville, but I'm deciding against it because It just doesn't make any sense with all the needs that are on this team right now. So
It's fun though. I've taken
it
him a
is
lot
fun
in the seventh round.
It would be fun. And if we didn't have Ty God, I would say, sure, let's go for it. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, because I've not touched on this position at all in this draft yet, I'm looking at edge rusher and in Tavius Robinson from Ole Miss. A Canadian man, a very large man, mostly a 4-3 kind of guy, but I feel like it doesn't matter with Wink. Yeah. There'll be a place for him.
The only kind of Canadians I'm interested in are large ones.
Yes.
If you're a small Canadian, what's the point of you? Yeah.
Play hockey or something. I don't know.
Or just cease to exist.
Yeah. Well, hey. The short people got no reason to live. That's the theme of this episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been a builder in college. He's gotten better every year that he's played. He's started more as the years went on, and I think he's a perfect candidate to be coached up by this staff. So I think this is another position similar to safety that we're kind of forgetting about. I mean, yes, we talked about some edge rushers already, but it's not one of those glaring situations where like we need it, but we kind of do. We didn't get to the quarterback as much as we should have last year, given all the talent that's on this team. And granted, you're going to have Kayvon getting better, and he had a big uptick towards the end there, and middle and towards the end. But we need consistency, and we need other people who can come in and at least have that kind of Dave Tollefson kind of production where you can throw a guy in off the bench. Is that for basketball terms, this 6-man kind of situation. So I think he could be one of those guys that could be coached up, and he's good at rushing the passer. And, that's all we'll really need him for in his rookie year.
Hopefully he'll have more production than Ellerson Smith production.
Yeah, really.
It was like the last late round guy we took at defensive end. Where I'm sitting right now, there's 2 names on the board, and I'm going to have to talk about Jonah Tavai, defensive interior from San Diego State, who at 6 foot 290 is a chode of a man. But he is a talented player. He's a talented run defender. And I think that where are my notes? I had some notes. Just like losing my thing. Yeah, I mean, like obviously a big, strong man. He is a little bit undersized for the interior, but I think instinctive, good football IQ. He just is a little raw, and I think that's part of the reason why he's going to drop down to this 7th round. So I think again, when you are confident in your coaching, you kind of take a little bit of a flyer on some more athletic guys, even if they have a little bit of tinkering or tightening up in their game to do. So with that being said, I'm going to pick Stetson Bennett with this pick. All right. No, I'm just kidding. He's still on the board. I can't help myself.
All right. Well,
he's still there.
Yeah, of course. With the first pick of the 7th round, I am going to pick Saquon Barkley's replacement. Just great value. You can replace a running back in the 7th round and really not miss anything. So why not do it now? And with that, I will be taking Dwayne McBride out of UAB.
I like that pick. Just recently was I picking him more in my draft. So I
think he's great value. I don't know if he's going to actually be here in the 7th. I think I've seen him much higher in other places, but he doesn't have the breakaway speed Saquon does. Not many do, but he's got good burst, good vision, good lateral agility. He can play in zone or gap schemes. Very powerful, can break arm tackles, and has got pretty good instincts. He's not much of a pass catcher, but we have like 7 slot wide receivers. So I mean, why even bother throwing it to the running back? We don't throw it to Saquon much anyway. So happy with that, and we have 2 more 7th round picks to become immediate starters for my draft.
I like it. I'm going to start off with saying, and how strange this is, and I don't know if you guys have seen this at all, or maybe there's something that I'm missing, but have you ever heard of Shepherd University?
Yes, I know this kid. Yes.
Yeah, well, they're both here. The quarterback, Tyson Bagent, and the running back, Ronnie Brown. I've never heard of either of them, and I find it funny that this college is here twice in the draft and not considered, free agent. You'll have to explain more because I know nothing about this guy. But anyway, this is kind of just when you get to this point in the draft, it's kind of like you're picking guys that you don't think are going to be looked at as undrafted free agents. So you're sneaking guys in, and you really have to know your stuff to really feel confident to take someone here. Given that and the way that the modern NFL is, I'm taking another cornerback because the defensive backfield can only get stronger, and that's going to be Anthony Johnson from Virginia.
Okay.
He's got height. I think he's got man skills that kind of go in line with Mekhi Blackman, who I picked earlier, and he played both safety and cornerback in college, so it's another guy with versatility. So it's any team captain, Dan's favorite.
Locker room guy.
Most important thing.
Yeah. I don't want to do what I'm about to do, which is pick a third wide receiver in the same draft. But the fact that Jalen Moreno-Cropper is still there, who is, I think, more so a guy who you're going to have return kicks. And with the absence of Richie James, I think, he comes in and fills a role. In terms of his use on offense, I think, more of a role player, gadget guy, but does have, the ability to make an impact at the pro level. But again, I think he'll help shore up the Giants' return game. He's got a lot of talent doing that. And I think a guy who probably end up going in the 5th round. So to grab him in the 7th is probably a pretty good value at this point. So there we go.
For it. Thank you for ensuring I win this draft, TJ, by taking your third wide receiver.
It's not a competition, Dan.
Oh, of course. I am going to grab a safety here, cornerback / safety in Chamari Connor from Virginia Tech, 6 foot, 202 pounds. We're going to 4'5", 40. Good athletic profile, productive college career. Will hopefully be able to work his way into a rotation, if not be certainly a serviceable special teams player, because that's what most of these guys are going to be. If you're lucky, is being special team starters to get started. So Chamari Connor for me.
You son of a bitch. You're just taking my my thunder in terms of the special teams aspect of things. Later in the draft is a perfect spot for this. This is a guy that we've discussed in the past. I think he has all the capabilities of possibly getting into the offensive mind frame and possibly on the field, depending on the situation. And he's kind of cut from the same cloth as a David Tyree, if you will. And that is your boy, Puka Nacua from BYU, wide receiver.
Oh, still there. Nice.
He is still there at 256 rated for me. And
great value.
Yeah, total value pick right there. And I feel like
I don't know.
It's overlooked. Special teams is a lot more important than people give it credit for, and he's a guy that has the talent to play offensive. Be out there in a spot kind of situation.
He could be our Matthew Slater.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe be a gunner on.
Sure.
Punt.
All right, who you got, TJ?
Stetson Bennett and picking him. Quarterback of the future. FBS champion, Georgia Bulldog, 37-year-old Stetson Bennett. Welcome to the squad.
Yeah, you're really.
When you have the opportunity, you have to do it.
If he's there at the last pick, I'm taking him every time, every single time.
All right. A few players I want to shout out as I make the finishing touches to my perfect draft. There's Anthony Audrey from Vanderbilt, linebacker. Just measurables guy, 6'1", 230, raw athletic score of 9.2. I've been taking him a lot. I think I'm going to skip that. Bumper Pool. What else do you have to say?
Oh, yeah, Bumper Pool.
Still available.
Pick Bumper Pool.
No, I don't want
the last pick of the draft.
A useless linebacker. I'm going to get a guy that's going to start in 2 years. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would also shout out Brenton Strange. He's a tight end from Penn State.
Get some Strange.
Yeah. He could be a useful player, but that's also boring. I'm going to go for my man coming out of what's his college here? I don't have that off the top of my head. Yeah, Northern Michigan. Jake Witt, 6'7", 302 pounds, offensive tackle, 9.8 raw athletic score. Put him in the rotation at offensive, if something doesn't work out, if you need spot start, this guy is raw but freakish.
Can he do backflips like JPP? Is that one of those kind of situations?
Potentially. He's 6'7", 302. Like, he's probably not too fat. That's pretty lean for 6'7".
Sounds like a great backup for Matt Pert.
The backup to the backup. Jake Witt, welcome to the squad.
Nice.
All right.
That'll conclude the draft. So should we just do quick recaps? Or?
Well, I have to just say that Bumper Pool legally changed his first name to Bumper.
Okay.
Good.
Okay,
Yeah.
that actually makes me feel like a little better about the Earth.
Yeah,
in general.
Yeah,
Just
you can't have Joe Tippmann and Bumper Pool on the same team.
No, I think that's too much strength.
Yeah.
That's too much strength. So what is your final grade, guys? I ended up with an A.
Oh, they don't give grades on
I don't
anything
give
else.
My worst pick apparently was Mekhi Gardner, cornerback, LSU in the 5th round. Other than that, everything looked pretty good.
They just give you good scores if you guys get guys that are ranked higher later rounds. That's how you get the good score.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just
you just do what you do and you get A's.
do my thing.
Screw the recap. Now we can discuss this. What are the chances that you actually think of multiple trades happening on our front for this draft?
Small.
Part of me would love to trade down from 25 just because of what this draft is, and I don't think that there's like there's definitely some good guys at the top. I think there's better quarterbacks this time around than there has been maybe at least last year. But in the like mid to late first round and into like the mid to late second round, there's a lot of like complementary talent or a lot of like comparable talent. I think so. Yeah. I wouldn't mind trading down and getting more picks.
I think if it's going to happen, it's going to be in the first, and then I don't know. I always feel like the Giants in particular does a bunch of weird like seemingly inane trades in like the 5th and 6th round that were just like, yeah, you really wanted to do that?
That'll happen.
That was that important, but yeah, who knows?
Right. That'll happen, I'm sure.
We'll be attending the.
Colin and I will be going to MetLife Stadium on Thursday to go to the draft party. I'm assuming that'll be fun. I don't really know what to expect, to be honest with you.
We'll report back next week. I think it'll be cool.
Do you guys want to bring this draft with you, mine, and hand it out? Say this is the answer sheet.
Yeah.
This is the answer.
I find it funny that neither of you want to review your drafts because that's all.
I want to review my draft.
Okay.
It sounds like you're ashamed.
I'm not
ashamed. Do it quickly. We won't have to talk about every player.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll go first. All right. I started out with Quentin Johnson, TCU wide receiver. Your only prototypical big body wide receiver.
We know who he
draft.
is. Keep it moving.
Oh, okay. I see. You don't want me to talk about him. You just want me to mention him.
We already talked about him.
Yeah. Round 2, I got Luke Weipler, center Ohio State. Round 3, Jordan Battle, safety Alabama. Round 4, Kayshawn Boot, wide receiver LSU. Round 5, cornerback Mekhi Gardner, LSU. Round 5, 172, tight end Davis Allen. Round 6, we got Lonnie Phelps.
This is where it goes off the rails.
Edge, Kansas. Yeah. 240, got Jonah Tavai, San Diego State. 243, Jalen Marone Cropper, wide receiver, Fresno State. And then, of course, your boy Stetson Bennett with my last pick.
Yeah.
First round, Zay Flowers. Second round, Joe Tippmann, center. Third round, safety JL Skinner, Boise State. Fourth round, Dorian Williams, linebacker, Tulane. Fifth round, Mekhi Blackman. We both picked guys named Mekhi at cornerback in the 5th round, TJ. Yeah. So that's what's cool there. 5th round as well, Jackson Kirkland, who you were going to pick as well at guard. Mm-hmm. Cameron Latu, tight end in the 6th, Alabama. Edge Tavius Robinson, Ole Miss in the 7th, 240. Cornerback again, Anthony Johnson, Virginia at 243. And then Puka Nacua, wide receiver, special teams guy, BYU, 254.
Excellent. I think it's funny how pretty much in all 3 of ours, the first 4 to 5 picks, I would be happy with any of ours.
I love that.
Yeah, pretty good. So yeah, the ultimate draft here is first round Deontay Banks, cornerback, Maryland. Second, Steve Avila, offensive guard. Third round, Jonathan Mingo. Fourth round, John Gaines, center from UCLA. 5th round, Moro Ojomo. 5th round, Rakeem Jarrett, wide receiver, Maryland. 6th round, Yaya Dibe, edge from Louisville. 7th round, Dwayne McBride, Saquon's replacement. And then Jamari Connor, safety / starting all special teams. And Jake Witt, the future of offensive tackle, with the last pick.
I do really like your first four or five rounds, Dan.
Thanks,
Got
dude.
a lot of quality guys in there.
Thank you. I try.
Steven Vala in the 2nd round would be sweet. I would love if
Yeah.
that could happen.
I heard he's like absolutely indispensable on like their offensive line. He was running the show and like the heartbeat of the whole team.
Nice.
That really got me excited.
Yeah,
about him.
I mean, we talked about him a couple of weeks ago, and he just kind of everything I read about him was just like, this screams not only value but versatility all over the place. So it's great.
Just seems like a good dude.
Now that we've kind of done this, where do you want the Giants to go in the 1st round? What position at least, or like if you could if at that spot,
I'm going corner all day.
Same. That's why I like Dan's draft, because I like Banks, and then I like picking up Mingo, which may be a little bit of a reach, but I think he has a lot of talent. He's going to be good in the NFL.
Well, the reason I say that is I feel like it's easier to do a plug and play in terms of what the depth of this draft is. I think a lot of the corners. I mean, there's not going to be a ton of corners in the 1st round in general. So you're still going to get someone. Who's decent at 25, I feel, but we'll see.
What your TJ was saying about Mingo, though, I think if we see what they did with Isaiah Hodgins, like I feel pretty good about what they do similar with the upside of Mingo.
Absolutely.
You know what's funny? Like, I just read his name and I was like, it's fun to say, and then I like typed it into YouTube and I was like, oh,
yeah,
this guy's like legit.
And then when he like catches a deep pass, you can say bingo, which is cool.
Bingo.
Yeah. And then when Moro Jomo sacks a quarterback, you can say Blomo Jomo or something, and Yaya Dibby, say yes, no, yeah. Gotta get fun names.
Got this all figured out.
Yeah.
Just all name draft.
I mean,
we'll do that next week.
Yeah, we should.
All right, I think we've been doing this for way too long. This is the longest podcast I've ever done. So
go back to work.
Being said, guys, thank you for listening. We're back. Follow Big Blue United on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us BBU Podboys with the Z on Twitter. I can't speak. Don't forget to check out neveneyewear.com. Use promo code Big Blue when you buy your pair of sunglasses for 50% off. They're beautiful things, man. For $35, that's a great deal. I would highly recommend it to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll let you know what happens at the draft. See you next week for the recap.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Peace.